And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the heart of the Inland Empire, right here in sunny Southern California, it's Robert Cardoza Live, where we talk about politics, money, and you. This is the intersection of business and politics. And now here's your host, Robert Cardoza.
And welcome aboard. I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. And you know what? We're actually live today. We've had a couple of weeks off for the holidays, and it has been wonderful time with our family to appreciate the things that we have. And you know what? I hope that you had a wonderful Thanksgiving as well. We're looking forward to the rest of the holiday season being just as magnificent as our Thanksgiving was. Right now, let's talk about today's show, which is, like I said, absolutely live. We've been doing a couple of weeks of archive best of shows. I hope you enjoyed those. But today, let's get it back to normal. Let's be it live, right? And on today's show, we're going to discuss what's in the news, new legislation, the IRS loses, and then we'll be continuing our segment, the tribute to the late, great Paul Harvey, and the rest of the story. Jon Matthews is going to be here as we do our semi-weekly simulcast. John Hansen, a little old wine drinker, well, he's going to be here too, and he'll be talking about food and wine. But right now, I want you to know that at 3:01 p.m. Pacific time, it's currently 59 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. That's the high. The low is going to be 42 degrees. Looks to me like, hey, winter might finally be here. Yeah. You know what? Let's talk about the news. Let's talk about the 10 things that you need to know for today. The daily look at late breaking news, upcoming events, and the stories that'll be talked about all day today and probably tomorrow too. We've encapsulated these a little bit so we could just give you a highlight of what's going on, and then we'll try and get a little bit more in depth. First up, though, is a busy slate for Trump in New York. The president-elect has more top posts to fill while trying to tamp down a distraction over his own Twitter offensive about widespread voter fraud. And what is mobilizing a Caribbean nation? Well, Cuba finds itself riveted one final time by Fidel Castro, whose funeral rites are dominating the island like no event in decades. Well, how the millennial Cuban Americans feel? You know what? For the hundreds of thousands of children born in Cuban exiles, Castro's death potentially opens a door to a world long off limits. And Syrian troops capture a major Aleppo neighborhood in besieged east. Aleppo, Syria's largest city and former commercial center, has been contested since 2012, and a rebel defeat in the city would be a turning point in the 5-year conflict. Well, Cyber Monday may be in danger of losing its title. The Monday after Thanksgiving is traditionally the busiest online shopping day of the year, but stores released internet deals earlier than ever this year. And Kashmir violence, not usual tit for tat. India and Pakistan start using heavy artillery and targeting each other's infrastructure instead of just military outposts and convoys with no diplomacy in sight. Well, you know what? I really love the scent of your perfume. Germany's Mr. Flirt is teaching workshops for young refugees how to pick up women as cultural gaps have made for awkward moments. And Trump and Sessions will have say-so on pot. The incoming Trump administration will have an array of powerful tools that could stymie the burgeoning marijuana industry. And introducing DirecTV Now. The new streaming service from AT&T's satellite TV division has the size to get better deals from entertainment companies. And then finally, who sparked the Chiefs over the Broncos in overtime? Well, I can tell you, Tyreek Hill scores on a run, a pass reception, and a kick return to become the very first player since former Bears great Gale Sayers in 1965 to pull off that feat. Yeah, isn't that something? Well, you know what? Let's talk about a little bit more in-depth news. Trump charges without evidence that millions voted illegally. You know what? President-elect Donald Trump is claiming without any evidence that millions of people voted illegally in the election that he won, issuing the baseless claim as part of his angry response to a recount effort led by the Green Party and joined by Hillary Clinton's campaign. I won the popular vote if you deduct the millions of people who voted illegally, Trump tweeted on Sunday. He later alleged serious voter fraud in Virginia, New Hampshire, and California. Trump's transition team did not provide any evidence to back up the president-elect's assertions of fraud in the November election. They pointed only to past charges of irregularities in voter registration. Senator James Lankford, a Republican from Oklahoma, said today that he had not seen any voter irregularity in the millions. I don't know what he's talking about on that one, Lankford said of Trump on CNN's New Day. You know what? Don't you think it's about time we got past this stuff? That's ridiculous. And Trump, you know what? Don't you have more important things to do than to start tweeting about baloney that you can't prove? You can't, I mean, geez. This is just crazy stuff. Just crazy. I don't get it at all. Well, you know what? In a drawn-out battle of Mosul, limits of Iraqi military show, you know what? When Iraq's top generals finalized the plan to retake Mosul from the Islamic State group, they gave themselves 6 months to finish that job. It was the maximum time cap. Prime Minister Haider al-Abadi said last week, we had a plan for the worst so we don't get surprised. 6 weeks into the battle, the force made up of 50,000 troops, Shiite and Sunni tribal militias, and Kurdish fighters is a long way from winning back the country's second largest city. The fight is showing the limitations of Iraq's, I should say, military and security forces, suggesting it is still not fully recovered from the collapse it suffered 2 years ago in the face of the militants' blitz across much of northern and western Iraq. Wow. You know, big things going on. Well, you can tell I'm not used to talking because I'm just barely into the show and I'm losing my voice already. That's kind of crazy. You know what? The United States is investigating a leak related to the Petraeus case. The Defense Department is conducting a new leaks investigation related to the sex scandal that led to the resignation of former CIA Director David Petraeus. The Associated Press confirmed that just today, the same day Petraeus was meeting with President-elect Donald Trump in New York. Petraeus, who could be in line for a cabinet nomination, arrived at Trump Tower in early afternoon and met with Trump for about 1 hour. Trump afterward tweeted that he was very impressed. Petraeus said Trump basically walked us around the world, showed us a great grasp of a variety of the challenges that are out there and some of the opportunities as well. Very good conversation, and we'll see where it goes from here. We'll see where it goes from here. Absolutely. A U.S. official told the Associated Press that investigators were trying to determine who leaked personal information about Paula Broadwell, the woman whose affair with Petraeus led to criminal charges against him and his resignation. The information concerned the status of her security clearance, said the official, who was not authorized to discuss an ongoing investigation by name and spoke on condition of anonymity. Well, I guess that's just the way it always works, right? Always anonymity. Well, I can tell you that that's just crazy, crazy stuff. You know what? We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to do an Associated Press fact check. Trump won the presidency but lost the popular vote. I'll tell you all about that after these brief messages. Do not go away. We've got a lot of fantastic show for you today.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. You know, nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know, Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. And we're talking news. Yeah, you know what? I've got an Associated Press fact check for you. Trump won the presidency but lost the popular vote. I think we all kind of know that. But Donald Trump's tweets can't erase the reality that he lost the popular vote in this month's election, according to the Associated Press's vote counting operation. The president-elect tweeted on Saturday that he'd have won the popular vote if you deduct the millions of people who voted illegally. Now, he also alleged serious voter fraud in California, New Hampshire, and Virginia, and complained that the media aren't covering it. Not only did he present no evidence to back up those claims, there apparently isn't any. Asked to provide supporting evidence on today, Trump's transition team pointed only to past charges of irregularities in voter registration. There has been no evidence of widespread tampering or hacking that would change the results of the presidential contest, and for good reason. Experts said, for one, it would be highly impractical. The nation's election system is decentralized, a patchwork of state laws whose differences would be nearly impossible to target on a large scale, said Wendy Weisner, a director of the democracy program at the nonpartisan Brennan Center for Justice. You would need to have hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people conspiring with insiders with one another, Weiser said. To keep a conspiracy of that magnitude secret is just unthinkable. You know what? I hope that Donald Trump wakes up, realizes one day that he is the president-elect, and has to stop playing these childish games. He needs to get off Twitter, unless it's going to be something where he uses his bully pulpit for a real national thing. Maybe he needs a vote. Maybe he needs support against or for some action. But he's got to get the heck off of there and stop being a child and remember that he is now the president-elect of the United States. Like it or not, he has to act like an adult, for God's sakes. At least that's my feeling. And you know what? The Michigan vote is certified for Trump, but recount requests still loom. Nearly 3 weeks after the election day, Michigan officials certified today that Donald Trump won the state by 10,704 votes out of nearly 4.8 million to claim all of its 16 electoral votes. There's more wrangling to come, though. On the final vote count for this oh-so-contentious campaign, Jill Stein's Green Party served notice that it would petition for a Michigan recount even as her party pushed forward with recount efforts in Wisconsin and Pennsylvania, where Trump won by somewhat wider but still small margins. Should the results for Trump hold in all three states as expected, the president-elect would have 306 electoral votes to 232 for Democrat Hillary Clinton. It only takes 270 to be elected president. It doesn't seem like this is going to go anywhere. It's just going to cost taxpayers more money. That's the way it seems to me anyhow. Well, how about this? Terrorism suspected in a car and knife attack at Ohio State. A Somali-born Ohio State University student powered his car into a group of pedestrians on campus and then got out and began stabbing people with a butcher knife today before he was shot to death by an officer. Police said they are investigating whether it was a terrorist attack. 11 people were hurt, one critically. The attacker was identified as Abdul Razak Ali Artan. He was born in Somalia and was a legal permanent U.S. resident, according to a U.S. official who wasn't authorized to discuss the case and spoke on condition of anonymity. The FBI joined the investigation. The details emerged after a morning of confusion and conflicting reports, created in part by a series of tweets from the university warning that there was an active shooter on campus and that the students should run, hide, fight. The warning was prompted by what turned out to be police gunfire. Yeah, well, isn't it time? It's either nuts or terrorists, and it's all becoming something just horrible. It just never stops. Well, Cubans bid farewell to Fidel Castro, a pledge of loyalty to the system. I guess hundreds of thousands of Cubans bid for farewell to Fidel Castro today, pledging allegiance, I should say, to his socialist ideology and paying tribute before images of the leader as a young gorilla gazing out over the country that he would come to rule for nearly half a century. Lines stretched for hours outside the Plaza of the Revolution, the massive plaza where Castro delivered fiery speeches to hundreds of thousands of supporters in the years after he seized power. There and across the country, people signed condolence books and an oath of loyalty to Castro's sweeping May 1st, 2000 proclamation of the Cuban Revolution as an unending battle for socialism, nationalism, and an outsized role for the island on the world stage. You know what? I don't think there are any tributes to do this man. The man was a thug. The man was a dictator. The man was a killer. Just, I don't know that I want to talk that much about him. It's just not good stuff. Well, you know what? How about this? An order could have little effect on the pipeline protest camp. A government order for protesters of the Dakota Access Pipeline to leave federal land could have little immediate effect on the encampment where scores of people have been gathered for months to oppose the $3.8 billion project. The North Dakota sheriff today dismissed the deadline as a meaningless move aimed only at reducing the government's legal responsibility for hundreds of demonstrators. The Army Corps of Engineers is basically kicking the can down the road, and all it is doing is taking the liability from the Corps and putting it on the Standing Rock Sioux tribe. Morton County Sheriff Kyle Kirchmeyer said that. The Corps said last week in a letter that all federal lands north of the Cannonball River will be closed to the public for safety concerns, starting on December the 5th. The order includes the encampment called Oseti Sakowin, or Seven Council Fires Camp. Well, that takes care of the news. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the IRS Loses. The first case up today is lien rights are lost during a temporary lapse. I'll explain that to you right after these brief messages. Do not go away.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful in visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make the interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
The story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 3:23 p.m. Pacific time. It's currently 60 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. Well, it's cold. It's sunny. Anyway, the low is going down to 44 degrees. It's been cold. But if you're listening to us on our globally syndicated network and you happen to be in New York City, well, it's 49 degrees and it's clear. And if you're in Chicago, Illinois, it's 51 degrees and they've got some light rain going on out there. But right now, let's talk about something pleasant. Let's talk about the IRS loses. First case up, is that the lien rights are lost during a temporary lapse. The IRS placed a lien on investment real estate owned by a person who owed back taxes. Now later, after negotiations after the tax bill, the IRS released the lien. Now a friend of the property owner then made a loan to him of $117,000 that was secured by the real estate, believing that the tax claim had been settled. But soon afterward, the IRS revoked its release of its lien and refiled it at the courthouse. Now the lender sought a court ruling that her lien received priority. The IRS answered that it had filed its lien first. Well, they went to court. This is what the judge said. The lender obtained her secured interest in the property with no notice of the tax lien because it had been released at the time. So her lien gets the priority. You know what? That's just the IRS trying to play games, as they always do. Well, here's another case for you. The IRS loses. Tax papers remain confidential even after being shown to an outside auditor. Now, this is kind of interesting if you think about it. You know, while examining a company's taxes, the IRS issued a summons to the company's outside accountants who had audited that company, demanding that they give over the tax papers of the companies that they held. Now, the company argued that the work papers were privileged against the IRS because they were prepared with its lawyers in anticipation of litigation against the IRS. Well, the IRS replied that confidentiality for the papers was lost when they were provided to the outside accountants. So they went to court. This is what the judge said. The papers were given to the accountants under a written confidentiality agreement, so they remained privileged against the IRS. And that's the way it's supposed to be, for Pete's sake. You know, the IRS just thinks they can play whatever rules they want. It's sort of like, let's change the rules in the middle of the game. That's how they want to go. That's generally the way they want to go anyway. Well, you've heard me talk about being a fly on the wall when the IRS is doing things. Wouldn't you like to be? I certainly would. It's a little bit like being in the Twilight Zone. Well, you know what? These are not actual tax court cases, but these are things that the IRS has done or they're doing that if you know about it, it'll help you protect yourself, against the IRS when these things are happening. You know, right off the top, let's talk about using an offshore bank. You know, individuals who want to maintain offshore bank accounts, that the existence of which, by the way, must generally be disclosed to the IRS on an annual basis, should keep in mind that the IRS can summons the bank to obtain copies of account holders' statements reflecting deposits and withdrawals. Now, there's an exception to this, though. If the offshore bank does not maintain an office in the United States, a motion to quash the summons should be successful. The IRS can enforce a summons in the U.S. District Court only if it can show that the summoned person or entity resides or is found in the court's geographical jurisdiction. So your best bet? Select an offshore bank with no branch office or business connection, such as an investment banking operation in the United States. You want to be really, really careful with that kind of stuff. How about this? You know what? When you try to tell the IRS, heads I win, tails you lose, no. You know, courts have held that taxpayers must be guided by a duty of consistency when it comes to taking tax positions concerning the same economic matter at different times. Now, the example of that is the court determined in Conrad Janus that an estate could not take the position with respect to the value of its assets when it suited the estate's tax purposes, in this particular case, using a lower discounted value for the gallery of artwork, and then take a contrary position when that suited the estate's purposes, and in this case, using a higher fair market value when the artwork was later sold by the beneficiary. So the bottom line, you cannot unfairly beat the IRS with its own rules and regulations. Now, you know, they can't change the rules in the middle of the game, but neither can you. How about this one? Let's try this on for size. You know what? It's still difficult to claim an informant reward. And, you know, a new court case again shows how difficult it is to collect a reward from the IRS for being an informant. You know what? Listen, I don't know how it happened this early, but we're with Jon Matthews John, you got to be about 8 minutes early. Hey, John, you out there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, you're on early today.
All right.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Are you broadcasting today, or are you just calling in as a nice guy?
No, I'm just calling in because I got stuck down the VA, and I walked in my house here exactly 1 minute before my show was supposed to start.
So are you on the air?
No, I'm not. I'm just running in an archive right now.
Oh,
on our side.
Okay. You know what, John? I'm gonna take a real quick commercial break. That's gonna give you, let's see here if I get this thing right. It'll give you 3 minutes to kind of prepare your computer or do whatever you gotta do. And I'll come right back on with you. Don't go away. Don't hang up or anything, okay?
All right.
All right, buddy.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. You know, nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, coming to you from the basement of his strategic planning room located at his political hideaway in Los Angeles County, the dedicated man who stands and serves the political conscience of our nation, Mr. Jon Matthews.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. And I'm with my good buddy, Jon Matthews. Hey, Jon, how was your Thanksgiving, my friend?
I'm doing just great. How are you doing?
I'm great. Did you have a good holiday?
I'm sorry?
Did you have a good holiday?
Yeah, I'm discombobulated, you know. We won the election.
You know what? Yeah, you know what? Let's talk about that for a minute. I got to tell you, I'm shocked. I'm surprised. I'm pleased. But there's a part of me that says, isn't it time for Donald Trump to mature and stop using Twitter for unbased accusations and start acting like the president-elect?
Well, I don't know. Maybe he should stop using Twitter when Barack Obama stops using YouTube.
Well, no, yeah, but what I'm trying to say is that some of the things that Donald Trump is saying, there's just no basis to it. There's no proof. And it's so far off the wall that it's almost embarrassing that he continues to do some of these things.
Well, we have to always refer back to how and why he won the election anyway. Mm-hmm. I've never been a big fan of Donald Trump. He is about as much a conservative in my view as Hillary Clinton is.
Yeah.
And I've never branded him. I've never fallen into the trap of believing that he was going to be the cure-all for everything that our country needs in order to return to being a republic. I never bought into the half of the stuff he said he was going to do, and And I think that's already being proven that some of that's already being walked back a little bit. My only motivation for voting for Donald Trump is that he wasn't Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, well, that in fact, I think you and I agree on that part, and also on the part that I so sincerely feel that our country needs to have some dramatic change, and I'm hopeful that Donald Trump, being a businessman and not a politician, or at least a neophyte politician, is going to go about trying to make that change. I just really believe that our country needs some serious change in Washington D.C. and if he can't do it with all the majorities that the Republicans have, then you know what, we're sunk.
Well, I think the main thing I expect out of a Trump presidency is I do believe that he will do whatever he can to get the economy back on track, which is more than sufficient considering what we've been dealing with for the past 8 years. But more importantly, to get those conservatives on the bench in the Supreme Court, to me, that is a major stepping stone. A lot of people just kind of look at that and say, yeah, we want the conservative Supreme Court. But I think what it will do is will really help return to the balance of powers. The balance of powers being that the judicial branch of our government is supposed to be the weakest branch. It's supposed to be, 90% of the cases that are heard in the Supreme Court today under the Constitution shouldn't even have made it to the Supreme Court. They were state issues that should have been resolved at the state level. And if people don't like what the laws are being dictated in the states, well, then they change it through their state legislation. But what we have now is the Supreme Court that is adjudicating from the bench, completely circumventing the Fifth Amendment of the Bill of Rights and the Constitution, and basically deciding that they're going to interpret the Constitution the way that they think it needs to be interpreted rather than the way that it was actually intended. So I think in that regard, that will be a major, substantial accomplishment if Trump has the opportunity to get 2 or 3 conservative judges on the bench. And I think he definitely is going to do at least that many.
Yeah.
And so there is a foundation there. Now we can get back to putting the laws and the legislation and everything back into the hands of Congress where it belongs. They have been so absent of wanting to do anything since Barack Obama came in office. And I'm not so sure that they really want to do anything. That's my thing with Congress. I'm not really sure that they really want to govern. I think they just want to preserve their position. So it remains to be seen what's happening here.
Yeah, what a sad epitaph that is, John. If they're going to still continue to be a lackluster, do nothing, obstructionist legislative body, then we don't need any of them.
Well, I think that, and see, as I said, this is kind of a stepping stone. We know if we really are honest with ourselves as Americans, the reason we have a stagnant, dysfunctional Congress is because we have elected these people. And we all know that they're dysfunctional. We all know that they're inadequate. We all know they're unqualified. And we all know that they're self-centered.
And we all keep putting them right back in their seats.
Yeah, and we do it because we as Americans have become lazy regarding preserving our freedom. It's why we've taken so much for granted. Now, putting the Supreme Court justices back into a proper order, where we have originalists there that are saying we are going to rule on issues, one, that we're allowed to rule on based on the Constitution, and two, based on what the Constitution actually says. Now, what that does is it really kind of puts the load back on Congress. The Trump momentum, or the Trump phenomenon, as I call it, really signifies one thing, that the American public, once they get fed up with something, will respond the right way. So I'm hoping what happens is all this momentum that Trump built up, the drain the swamp and let's get rid of the establishment and everything else, begins to spill over into Congress, especially in the Senate. I think the Senate should be our next target. We've got to get rid of people like Mitch McConnell and John McCain and Lindsey Graham. These people have got to go. And it's because, Mitch McConnell the other day comes out and says he doesn't think that regular people really want change. And I'm sitting there going, Did you not watch what just happened in the last year and a half? So nobody on either side of the political aisle, or the political asylum, as I now refer to it, really understands what this election was about. It wasn't about having a qualified man run for office. It wasn't about somebody who overuses his Twitter account and says stupid things. Like I said, he could have had his own secret harem of Miss Universes, and it would not have bothered the Trump people at all, because the Trump people are simply people that are just saying enough is enough. I may not know what's going on, or I may not know how to fix it, but I know something has to change. And so Trump is that I call it the Band-Aid. He's not going to change this country overnight. He's not going to change it in one term. He won't change it in 2 terms. But what he can do, or what he's done, is he's given us a breather. He's put a Band-Aid on the wound here. We've stopped the bleeding a little bit. Now, if Americans now can kick back and say, okay, now what really is the cause of the problem? Oh, I know what it is. It's those dysfunctional, dyslexic, idiotic people that we keep electing to Congress. Yeah. That needs to be the next step. So I'm hoping that we get something done in terms of being able to start rebuilding and reassigning the balance of powers, the powers that be. I think one thing that Trump is going to lend to the executive branch, I don't think he's going to dictate like Obama did. I don't think he's going to try to do things through executive order. I think he's going to delegate, because that's how he became successful.
Well, John, we know he's going to use some executive orders to reverse the executive orders that Obama put in.
I'm sorry?
I said we know that he's going to use a number of executive orders right away upon him being sworn into office. He said he's going to use those to reverse the executive orders that Obama put in.
Well, all he has to do really is just repeal the executive orders. However he does that, yeah. and that is a good thing. But if he starts to try to dictate and mandate through executive orders like Obama did, the media is going to have a field day with him. Because anything Obama does that is even remotely like Barack Obama, the media is going to play it like, hey, look, he's no different than Barack Obama. He's no different than Hillary Clinton. And I'm hoping that the people that Donald Trump is beginning to encircle himself with are people that will look at him and tell him, don't go there. Don't fall into that trap of thinking you have to please everybody all the time. What you have to do is you gave us a message. You told us what the message was. You told us what you wanted to do. Now, you better make sure that you at least make the appearance that that's what you're doing.
Yeah, but one of the problems we have that needs to be acknowledged is, it doesn't make any difference what Trump is going to do. The media has got a vendetta against this guy, and they're going to do everything to make him look bad. On the other hand, he is not used to anybody saying no to him. He's a chief executive that has powered his way through successes by making a decision and not accepting a no. And if his own party in Congress starts saying no to him, he's going to start using executive orders because he doesn't like to be told no.
Well, there is certainly that possibility. Like I said, I'm under no delusion that Donald Trump is going to be the perfect president. Like I said, if he gives us the Supreme Court and happens to get the economy rolling, I think a lot of the other stuff will pretty much remain the way that it is. I think most of it's just going to be Congress not really wanting to rule on anything, wanting to really do anything, but making it sound like they're doing something. But at this point, we just need some evidence that something in government can change. Something can change. That's what people are looking for right now. I don't think anybody in their right mind can't think that in 4 years Donald Trump is going to turn everything around.
Well, yeah, but the media already wants to crucify this guy, and he hasn't even seen Caesar yet. The poor guy, he's got a lot of things that he wants to do. The media is already crucifying him. He hasn't had a chance to try anything. They're accusing him of impropriety because of the business relationships. They're accusing him that him or his friends are going to profit by the infrastructure repairs that have to be done. They have to be done, for God's sakes. Here's a guy that knows how to get it done. Why are they already castigating him when he hasn't even had a chance to take his first breath?
Well, everything that we complained about the media not doing with Barack Obama, we're going to see with Donald Trump. Donald Trump, we're gonna know every time Donald Trump passes gas. And we're going to have the media, and the media is going to tell us what he should have eaten to avoid that. You know, it's going to be everything that we wanted with Obama. The media will do here. You're going to find out that the media can, when they really want to, investigate things. They can really find the facts when they really want to.
Yeah, you know,
and that's what's going to happen with Trump. So that in and of itself exposes the media more as the lapdogs that they are. And you know, the only thing the media likes reporting on more than other people is reporting on themselves.
That's for sure. Hold that thought, John. I've got to go to a commercial break. We'll be right back with Jon Matthews and the Conservative Syndicate right after these brief messages. Do not go away.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful in visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry and a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 3:49 p.m. Pacific time. It's currently 60 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. It's on its way down to 44 degrees. And if you're listening to us on our globally syndicated network and you're in Paris, France, well, it's 32 degrees and it's clear. And if you're in Rome, Italy, it's 46 degrees and it's partly cloudy. But you know what? No clouds over the head of my good buddy, Jon Matthews. Hey, John, we were talking about the media, and one of the things I wanted to get your take on, no question there's a war between the media and President-elect Trump, and to the fact where Trump's not letting the media know what's going on. He's not letting the pool, the press pool go around him. I'm wondering if when he gets on Air Force One, if he's going to deny them access to him on there too. What are your thoughts on this?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch all of what you were saying there.
Oh, let me repeat it. There is no question, John, that there is a media war between the media and Donald Trump. And Donald Trump, since he has become our president-elect, has refused to include the media in any of his plans or give them any notice or let them have pool reporters around him. And I'm wondering if once he takes the oath of office and he's on Air Force One, if he's going to refuse to let the press following him around. And I was wondering what your thoughts were on that.
Well, I think in this particular instance, Trump is not a fool. One thing he should acknowledge, people think he is, but he's really not. But the one thing that he really, I think, understands is that even with all the negativity of the media towards him, their attempt to brand him, their attempt to destroy him and everything else, if it wasn't for the media, he would have had to spend a whole lot of much more money campaigning.
Oh yeah.
So I think when Donald Trump comes after the media, it's more just to draw attention to him. And what happens is the media will begin to talk about how he's trying to shut out the media, and every single thing that he does is orchestrated for the purpose of keeping the attention on him and doing it without having to put out any money or really any effort. All he's got to do is put 145 characters out there on Twitter, and he's the subject for the next 3 days. So, that's true. But I'm worried about the transparency of, the news follows the president around so that the American people can be appraised of what's going on a regular basis. I think the reason that Trump is taking this position against the media, and it's not so much that he's playing them, because he did do that, and he wound up with $1 billion worth of free advertising, I think. But I'm thinking that he wants to do a lot of things, and he doesn't want the media to slip his hand. He doesn't want them to be telling the people what he's going to do before he does it. Well, he's not the first president to try to do that. John F. Kennedy was famous for trying to do that, trying to keep the media from really knowing everything that was going on with his administration. And if we're talking about transparency, let's be honest, Bob, what transparency are we getting from the media anyway?
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, what are we worried? What's the media worried about? That they're not going to be able to spin something? That they're not going to be able to take something out of context? That they're not going to be able to use things that Donald Trump says to fit their narrative? Well,
you and I see eye to eye on that, John. There's no question about that. There's a part of me that is, I'm very frustrated with the media anyway. I like the old media that actually gave us facts and news and not opinions.
Well, I think if I was Trump, I'm just speaking from my perspective, if I would go out of my way to open up to the press, but I would not open up to the mainstream press. What I would do is I would pick and choose. I'd pull people out of, let's say we pull some reporters out of Breitbart, or we pull some reporters out of anything but the mainstream network. One America is a very good network, very objective, very, they're conservative, but they report honestly. They report. They don't opine. They report. So I think what he needs to do is maybe open up the press to people that are willing to report what's going on rather than commentate what's going on. So he could get around this by simply saying, oh, you know what? for instance, just off the top of my head here,
mm-hmm.
what if we put Christine Amanpour on his press corps instead of Martha Raddatz from ABC?
Yeah.
You're going to get a much more objective. Amanpour is a liberal herself, but when it comes to reporting, she sticks to reporting. She doesn't stick to comment. She doesn't get into commentary and her opinions or anything else. So I think they should really restructure the press corps in the same way that he's restructuring his cabinet, saying, I'm willing to open myself up to the press, but I will decide who in the press comes in.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody really should have any objective argument to that. Of course, the media will scream. George Stephanopoulos won't be able to say that he's the big guy. Martha Raddatz, people like this, Andrea Mitchell, all these people need to be shut out. And let's bring the press in, but let's bring some no-names in.
Yeah.
Let's bring in people that are actually willing to report, and they're out there. There's plenty of people out there that will report honestly, and you can get the rundown of what he's going through, and then let everybody else use their speculation rather than taking things out of context and everything else. So I think if Trump was smart, he could turn it around.
Too bad you couldn't take a pool of brand new journalists who had just graduated from college, just a handful, half a dozen, and say, okay, you're going to be our pool reporters, and you're going to follow the president everywhere he goes, and then the rest of the reporting media are going to get their stories from you.
Anything with the status quo.
Yeah.
These people that followed Hillary Clinton around on the campaign trail, these people, I would put them top of my list. These people are not getting on Air Force One with me.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
And people say, why? Well, because I would be honest, I don't like them, and I don't trust them. So if you don't like that I don't trust them, that's too bad.
Yeah, you know what? I'm the president, this is my plane, and you're not getting on it.
I'm sorry?
I said, I'm the president, this is my airplane, and you're not getting on it.
Yeah, I would use Obama's line. Hey, I won the election.
Yeah.
And let you guys deal with it. Maybe if you guys start turning back to honest journalism instead of paparazzi-style punditism, maybe I'll consider having you back. But the point is, as long as you're coming on Air Force One for the purpose of getting a gotcha moment that you can go back and try to destroy me, why would I, as a sensible, reasonable person, allow you to continue to do that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, John, we're out of time. Need you to give a commercial break for the Conservative Syndicate.
Oh, yeah. Catch our show at theconservativesyndicate.net. We're on 3 to 5 out here on the left coast and the 6 to 8 on the east coast. And anything you want to know about our show, what we do, why we do it, people that are on the panel, Bob is one of those people. You can find us at theconservativesyndicate.net. Hey,
John, I'm hoping you're okay because I heard you say you went to the VA today, and I look forward to talking to you on Friday.
All right.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. Nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
When they ask who's a fool in the corner crying, I say, a little old wine drinker me.
And now, from the middle of a vineyard somewhere, a man who's never met a grape he couldn't cuddle up to, our resident advanced sommelier, Jon Hansen.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 4:01 p.m. Pacific time, currently 60 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. It's on its way down to 43 degrees, and that's cold out here in Southern California, guys. If you're listening to us on our globally syndicated network, and you're in London, England, it's 36 degrees and it's clear. And in Vienna, Austria, it's 30 degrees and clear. You know what? 60 degrees is sounding a whole lot better right now. But you know what? We've got hanging on the line our own little sommelier, Jon Hansen. Hey, Jon, how was your Thanksgiving, buddy?
Well, you know, Bob, my Thanksgiving is incredible every year. Unfortunately, of course, I work, but it's a full day for me. And, you know, how was yours?
Oh, man, what a we had a fabulous, expensive but fabulous Thanksgiving. You know, Tiffany and Rich, my daughter and my son-in-law, and my two grandsons, Joey and Johnny, and Marlene and I went to the Hotel Del Coronado for their Sunday brunch. This is the second time in a row we've done that. We got there, we had a little breakfast before we left here, and then we got there and had a small lunch, had a dinner reservation at 5:45. And it was a full buffet, like they do the Sunday buffet, only it's all Thanksgiving stuff and special things. And it was just phenomenal. A couple of nice bottles of wine, and then after dinner, we had a reservation for a fire pit out on the beach. We had a fire pit and had some s'mores and played some games, and it was just absolutely fabulous.
Did you spend the night down there as well?
Yeah, we spent the night there at the Hotel Del in. Matter of fact, Joey, we were able to get the room that Kate Morgan was in, supposedly the haunted room that they have at the Dell. They have a number of them, but that's the famous one. And Marlene refused to sleep in it. So Joey and I stayed in that haunted room. I don't believe in ghosts and stuff like that, but Joey was just thrilled to death. So we stayed in that room, and then Tiffany and Rich and Marlene and Johnny stayed in their room. They had an extra bed in their room. So we were there, and Joey was really nervous and was kind of scared, but it was his idea. He was by the time he hit the pillow, he was fast asleep. I don't think a ghost could have waken him up if they had set off a bomb in that room.
Did you hear any chairs moving or anything?
Nah, nothing, John. Nothing.
Oh, that's funny.
Yep, nothing. You know, it was just, but it was a beautiful, a nice, beautiful room, and you know, it's all been renovated, and it was interesting because it was on that day, that Thanksgiving Day, that Kate Morgan actually checked into the Hotel Del, and she was killed 5 days later. So, it was, you know, I kept telling Joy, I said, Joy, she just checked in. She's not going to spook us tonight. It'll be 5 days from now.
Well, that sounds like fun.
Oh, it was a lot of fun.
Now, of course, Bob, you know, I work for Disney,
yeah.
And we're open, you know, 365 days a year. So usually the holidays are our busy times. So I always work no, but Bob, hang on to your hat. Hang on to your hat right here, because this year, Bob, I am going to take Christmas off for the first time in the last 15 years.
You're kidding, John.
Well, I got a little young lady that's going to be staying with us. So it'll be the first Christmas we had actually Avery stay with us. So,
oh, really?
Since Christmas is on a Sunday as well, I'm actually going to take that Christmas off. So we're going to spend the entire day with Avery and so forth.
Oh.
But, yeah, so that's an incredible change for me because, I mean, usually every Christmas, it's one of our busiest days and so forth. But, you know, when I have a chance to spend it with little Avery, you know, I'm going to go ahead and take it off.
You know what, John? And that just says a whole lot about who you are and what you are. Oh. You know, Christmas Day has got to be a big day, earnings-wise for a guy like you. And to put a priority out there and say, nothing is more important than my granddaughter, that's saying a lot, buddy.
Exactly. As I said, they switch on and off. They go to Zach's mom, to, you know, Heidi's moms, to this, to that. They're up in Oregon sometimes for Christmas. And this was our Christmas, so this is our special Christmas. So we're going to make it very special. But usually my Thanksgiving, this is what we usually do. Mm-hmm. Ray and I, of course, have, you know, we do it like a nice little, I guess we can call it brunch.
You don't drink any wine or anything, do you, John?
Oh, Bob, actually I broke tradition. You know, usually my favorite wines for Thanksgiving, I love the Southern Rhônes. You know, the Chateauneuf at the Pops is always not that big, like a Baccarat. So, I tell you, the best is just Côte de Rhône, which are not expensive, but with turkey is amazing. But even if you go up a little north, Beaujolais, and you know, I'm sorry we missed the third Thursday. In November, of course, is released for the Nouvelle Beaujolais. It's always a fun wine. It's okay with turkey, but I tell you, a Krug Beaujolais with turkey dinner, amazing as well. But of course, also Burgundies, Pinot Noirs. So we did Pinot Noir this year. We did a Roquefort with Pinot Noir with our little brunch. And usually what's happening, Raina, sometimes Zach's with us, but Raina and I have a little something, you know, later in the morning, because usually our hours at Napa Rose, we're strictly a dinner house, so it's usually 5:30 to 10. But on Thanksgiving, it's 4 to 8. So it's an early day. We got to go in early, but we get out early, so that's a good thing. Yeah. And Raina, Raina's family, of course, they're involved with the church. Her dad was a pastor. Her brother-in-law was a pastor. Her nephew's studying to be a pastor. So they have about 30 people over at their house. And it's an all-day affair with them. Every person that goes over, you know, they have to stand up and you know, what are they thankful for? And so, it's an all-day affair. Raina's mom cooks all day. It's this big event at her house. So she has a little something with me. She goes over there. Zach usually goes to his mom's. Once in a while they go to Vegas. That's where his grandparents live. Mm-hmm. But they always wind up at our house afterwards. Now, when I go to work, it's kind of a tradition. We have a cast member named Isaac. And his wife knows that he has to work, so his wife makes these tamales for us. So when we get to work, we all enjoy these tamales before we start working. And she makes a sweet tamale, like with coconut and fruit and so forth. If you want like a dessert thing, but she does the pork and the chicken tamales with special sauce. It's just incredible. So we have a little thing there too. And then, of course, we have to taste the food at the pre-ship at Napa Rose, and it's a set menu at Napa Rose.
Is it a special Thanksgiving menu, John?
Yeah, it is. It's $120 a person. It's a 4-course dinner. Now, the first course, you have a choice of course, the scallops. Now, that's one of your favorite dishes, the scallops.
Mm-hmm.
They have changed since the last time you've been there. Now it's almost like actually kind of like a surf and turf. You still have that same scallop, but you have this little braised Wagyu beef as well. There's corn with it and so forth. So it's changed a little bit, but still, the scallops are just amazing. It's always one of our top appetizers.
Oh yeah, and because it's the big diver scallop that you guys use, and it's just succulent.
The small ones are the size of $50.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're huge and delicious. The way they prepare them is just amazing. But actually, my favorite starter that day is an arancini. And arancini, it's usually pasta. The chef uses risotto. You have a combination of cheese inside, so it's kind of like a pasta ball with cheese inside, and you treat it with a wild boar bolognese. So you have these pieces of wild boar in this bolognese sauce. And that was that was incredible, and that was by far my favorite appetizer, even more so than the scallops. The scallops were incredible.
John, and when Chef Sutton is giving everybody there a taste of the different things, do you only just get a bite? I mean, does he make one plate and everybody gets a bite from it, or how does that work?
Yeah, exactly. There's usually anywhere from 6 to 8 staff on. The chef describes every dish, of course, but this Thanksgiving, a lot of the dishes were either on our vintner's tables or menus or tradition. Every year, for example, he does the tamales. Being from Texas, graduated from TCU, but grew up in Dallas, for Thanksgiving, a tradition for the chef, it was actually tamales for Christmas and Thanksgiving and so forth. So he always has a tamale, and it was a crab tamale with like just brown bean sauce with it and so forth. And that was one of the appetizers too, and even that was delicious as well. But we all get to try it. The chef describes the dish, of course, and we all get to taste it. So you have the sight and the taste. So you definitely remember a lot more of the dish. And you also get to pick which one that really impressed you that you would probably suggest to your guests, which really overwhelmed, what appetizer really overwhelmed you.
Yeah.
Now, of course, we have a lot of dietary restrictions and food allergies, so we can make just about all of them gluten-free for the glutens out there.
So John, if there's a half a dozen servers there, it's possible that each one of you could have a different favorite, and would each one of you be recommending something different to each group, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And not to sound coy, Bob, there's not a bad choice.
Yeah. No. And you know what? Having eaten at the Napa Rose a number of times, I know you're absolutely right. You know what? It's just too bad that all of our listeners don't avail themselves of that wonderful, wonderful experience of eating at the Napa Rose. It's just phenomenal. It's just a phenomenal place.
Oh, Chef Son is just amazing. 2 years ago, you were Chef of the Year for California Restaurant Association. The guy is just amazing, and even his associate, his sous chef, Chef Gloria, amazing chef as well. So when he's not there, it's still the same level throughout the restaurant. But as I said, we do cater to a lot of dietary restrictions and food allergies, and we do always have a vegetarian end. We also have a vegan item as well for the vegans that come in.
John, what's the difference between vegetarian and vegan?
Well, vegan, there is nothing that deals with an animal. Oh. Like vegetarians can have like pasta. But pasta is usually made from egg or something like that, which deals with an animal. So vegans is strictly just vegetables. Vegans eat nothing that deals with like dairy or
nothing that walks.
Anything that comes from an animal, vegans do not touch. Yeah. We're vegetarians. They still eat pasta, even though there's egg and so forth in the pasta. So vegetarians are more open, if you will. Well, vegans are just nothing comes from animal. It's just from plants and so forth. So, not really too much of a difference, but we cater to both.
Yeah.
So if you you are vegan or vegetarian or whatever, if you have a gluten allergy or celiac disease, we definitely accommodate you.
So would Chef Sutton have something different for the vegan than they do for the vegetarian? I mean, would he maybe serve a pasta to the vegetarian?
Yeah, exactly, and that was our vegetarian item. Like for the first course, we had these Reggiano Parmigiano gnocchis with the mushrooms and so forth. And then he would just do a vegetable plate for the vegans if somebody was vegan that came in for Thanksgiving. Even we have, like we do the what we call the vintner's table. And if you sit at the counter, we have what we call the chef table there, where the chef just cooks for you. And they'll come over and they'll ask you when you're at the counter. And it's funny because when we first opened the restaurant at Napa Rose, we couldn't sit the counters over the kitchen because, I mean, it's not romantic. Of course, you see everybody clacking plates, you see the kids running around, and sometimes you have to apologize for Chef Sutton's verbal.
Something didn't go perfect. You mean?
Before they sit down at the kitchen table, but now it's by far the most popular table. It's only 2 seatings from 5:30 and 8:30, and it is sold out just about every night. You have to make reservations at least 3 weeks in advance to get a kitchen table. And what they do there, the chef will come up and ask you if there is any dietary restrictions, food allergies, fears, likes, dislikes. If he was to do like a beef dish, how would you like it prepared? Get a little more in depth, a few more questions, and just creates this incredible dining experience. So the kitchen table is a lot of fun. I do highly recommend it if you are dining at Napa Rose. As I said, it's not romantic. You see everything going on. You see the dish being prepared in front of you. It says sometimes the chef is a perfectionist, and if it's not going right, he gets a little, verbal.
You mean he voices his displeasure?
Well, you saw Hell's Kitchen. It's like that one.
So you know what? It just sounds. It sounds like. Here's the thing. I've known you for, gosh, John, 30 years, 25, 30 years, something like that?
Yeah.
And the one thing I know about you is that you love what you do, and as a result, you have a lot of fun doing it. And so I can't imagine what goes on behind the scenes at the Napa Rosa, before you maybe get your first guests in or some of the stuff that goes on. I'm thinking you probably ought to write a book, John.
Oh, honestly, I'm seriously thinking about that. When it's getting close, when I do get ready to retire, maybe sit down and actually just do, write down the moments I've had throughout the year. It's over 30 years I've been in the restaurant business, and I can tell you some stories, and actually it'd be very interesting reading, I tell you. And the difference in times, I remember back in the 70s where the chef used to throw knives at you. I mean, it's changed now. They can't do that, of course, but I mean, gosh, yes, it'll be an interesting book. I don't know if it'll be a bestseller, but it'll be definitely interesting reading.
Oh yeah. So
thanks for reminding me. I think I may have to start.
I'm going to start bugging you about it. So listen,
please,
you're going to have a special person, Avery, over for Christmas. Are you planning a special menu that you're going to prepare?
Oh, we usually do. It's funny. We usually do turkey and ham for Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
We usually do turkey for Christmas as well, and we do roast beef for New Year's. That's kind of like our tradition there. So we'll probably do another turkey thing for dinner that night. But I'm actually, since it is on a Sunday, I'm taking that Sunday, Monday, Tuesday off. So spend some time with my son and lovely wife and granddaughter.
Oh, that's wonderful.
It's special when, as I said, it was great when Zach was young, but now, he's grown up and now he has his own daughter.
And how are you going to manage to spend all those days, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, and not visit a Costco?
I guess I got to stock up prior.
Hey, John, we got to take a short break. When we come back, let's talk some more about what your holiday plans are, okay?
Absolutely.
All right, we'll be right back.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful in visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39. A complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 4:22 p.m. Pacific time. It's still 60 degrees outside the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. It's on its way down to 43 degrees. But you know what? If you're listening to us on our globally syndicated network and you're in Madrid, Spain, first of all, you're one lucky son of a gun. But you know what? It's 46 degrees and it's clear. And if you're in Tokyo, Japan, it is 49 degrees and it's partly cloudy. But you know what? No clouds over the head of my good buddy, Jon Hansen, that little old wine drinker and advanced sommelier. Hey, John, we're back on, and it sounds like you've got some magnificent holiday plans going. I bet you're just really excited.
Oh, yeah. This is the first Christmas in 15 years I'm going to be able to spend with my granddaughter, and so it's going to be a special Christmas. But we did, as I said, we had a great Thanksgiving. Traditionally, as I said, Raina and I, we do a little thing in the morning, and then I go to work, and after work, and one other thing I wanted to mention at Rose, Thanksgiving is a special day for the dessert side as well. We do that 4-course dinner where we were talking about the appetizers, and you have a choice of the soup salad. The soup that night was his traditional holiday soup. It's an apple chestnut soup. There's a little Brewski's ham and seasonal vegetables. And he did this apple pear salad with pheasant confit, which was outstanding. And, of course, on the entrees, one of the best turkeys I ever had. It's a Heritage Bronze turkey. You do get dark meat, light meat, because you get the leg and so forth. Little turkey sausage in there with the stuffing. Every table gets cranberry. Instead of mashed potatoes, he does his root mash, which is a combination of parsnip, rutabaga, and potatoes. And of course, a nice little combination of vegetables as well. But if you're not really that big on turkey, probably the second most popular item was that buffalo ribeye, which was unbelievable. And it came a close second to the turkey. There's a lot of traditionalists out there. It's Thanksgiving. You got to have turkey. But I tell you, for those people that didn't want turkey, everybody was going for that ribeye. But he also offered a salmon and crab entree that was amazing as well if you wanted to go fish. And, of course, for our vegetarians, we had the braised green and cheese ravioli with mushrooms and so forth. He did, of course, a vegan dish.
So, John, when you have guests on such a special day like that, do any of them bring their own wines? Do any of them say to you, "We'd like you to pair the wines with what we're ordering for dinner and surprise us"? Or how does it go for you?
Oh, yeah, we have a $25 corks fee if you want to bring your own wines, but we also, of course, do a wine pairing, which is $50. So you would get a 2.5-ounce pour with each course, and that course depends what you choose. With the first course, the super salad, the main course, and dessert. But on Thanksgiving, it's a big day on the dessert side because our most popular dessert and what the chef is known for, and he calls it the best hot chocolate ever. But this is just this incredible hot chocolate. Now, what's funny, it changes every year, and it's still the best hot chocolate ever. I don't know how he does it. It was originally Michel Glizé, Schaffenberger, and Verona. This year it's just Verona and Schaffenberger. A couple little things he changes, and usually you have these donuts or little pastries that you actually hot chocolate. But it is just straight chocolate, and you drink it. You can use a spoon. So it's
very much like European chocolate, like you can get in Europe.
Oh yeah. It is decadent, and it is a dessert. It's not just like a drink. Get your drink. It is dessert.
Yeah.
And they put this marshmallow flour on top of it, because the hot chocolate's hot. And the marshmallow isn't, but once it hits the hot chocolate, when you put it on the table, you put that marshmallow flour in. And because of the heat, it opens up the marshmallow, and these little hazelnut, like little crisp in the inside that open up and fall into the hot chocolate itself. And it's funny, Bob, because on a cold December night, you look into the Napa Rose Lounge, and I would say about 90% of the people in the lounge is having this dessert, this hot chocolate. We're renowned for it. And he used to just do it from Thanksgiving to New Year's Day. But last year, he changed tradition, and I believe we're going to do it this year. He lets it go until Valentine's Day. So that's the last day you can get that hot chocolate dessert. And as I said, it is... Everybody waits for certain things. We have this tomato salad everybody's looking for. On the dessert side, that's the one dessert that everybody looks for. And Thanksgiving is the opening. So, a lot of people come just to get that dessert on Thanksgiving. Turkey's okay, that's okay, but I can't wait to get that dessert. So, it's a big fan of dessert.
So, he hasn't given away the recipe to you so you can make it for Avery, huh?
Funny, it changes all the time. I don't understand why it's the best hot chocolate. And if it is, why does he keep changing the recipe a little bit? He keeps tweaking it and changing it because, as I said, Chef Sonny, he wants to educate the public. He wants his perfect day, Bob, if he has like 8 entrees on the menu, his perfect day would be if I sold 15 of each entree. As I said, I remember one day we had this one filet dish that was with companion potatoes, and he called it blue cheese snow because he shaved this shavings of blue cheese on top of this filet. It was just phenomenal. And one Saturday, 90% of all the entrees was this filet. The next week, he took it right off the menu because too many people were ordering it, and everyone was coming in looking for that filet.
He took it off. It was that popular, and he took it off the menu?
Anything that gets too popular, like our Smiling Tiger salad, that was people come in just for that salad. They weren't ordering anything else.
Oh.
Yanks that thing off. As I said, his perfect day is if he had 15 of everything throughout the menu was sold. That's his perfect day. And it's funny because he blames us for not pushing everything else. They're coming in, they look at the menu, look at me, I'm having this. I can't get a word out. That's what the people want. I mean, but yeah, so he tweaks it, he changes it. He believes that the restaurant gets stagnant if you have an item that people just come in. You want to keep the people on edge, new exciting things coming up, and that's his philosophy in the restaurant. So if something gets too popular, he changes it. And like the hot chocolate, the short ribs, another thing, he changes the presentation, just like the scallops. I mean, the scallops by far. And this was a dish that he was on Regis and Kelly. As I said, Chef Sutton's been on TV throughout, the United States and so forth. And when he does go on the media, it was always the scallops. So it was one dish he really couldn't take off. And his way to, because he's so combative sometimes, that, okay, I can't take it off, but I can change it. He changes it. And so the best hot chocolate, he can't take it off. Everybody knows it's coming on Thanksgiving. So what he does, he changes the recipe just a little bit and the presentation just a little bit. So he's happy, but everybody else is still happy because it's still amazing.
Yeah, this is better than the best.
Oh, well, we'll see. And how do you know which one is actually the best? Because it changes every year. So we have no idea. But, I know we're getting short in time, but our tradition, of course, for Thanksgiving, I go to work, and since it is an early day, we're only open 4 hours. We open early and we close early at 8 o'clock, so I get home at an early time. And as I said, so Zach does his Thanksgiving, and the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. He loves cooking just like his dad. So he usually does a Thanksgiving thing at his mom's house. And he brings over leftovers. And, of course, Rena's mom cooks for like 2 days straight, so she brings leftovers over. So we always do our little thing around 10 o'clock at night where we just have, it depends how hungry we are. It could be just, we love to do the baked brie. We do like a little brie. We can do just a turkey sandwich, or we can just do like a little ham turkey, maybe just even pie. We're all just too full because we're all eating all day long, depending on how hungry we are. We want to just do something lighter, so we always open up a nice bottle of wine. And as I said, usually I go Southern Rhone or so, but this year I went Pinot Noir. And what was amazing, Bob, our first with this format, I mean, I remember when you had the radio show in San Bernardino, we've been doing it a long time, but the first day that we did our first radio show with this format, I was up in Oregon, and we did it from Domaine Serene. I was at the guest house at Domaine Serene in Oregon, right. And that was the actual first show with this format. And I was able to get this one wine of the Monogram, and it's only offered, what they have a wine club at Domaine Serene, and there's 3 levels. Only the top level gets it. But I was able to kind of get in the little thing without joining the club, where I was able to get bottles of the Monogram, and they still give me a bottle. So it's not cheap. It's $300 a bottle for a Pinot Noir.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. But it is one of the most amazing Pinot Noirs there are. And since it was a special Thanksgiving, I know, as I said, first time in 15 years I'm going to take a Christmas off. I wanted to open something special. And I tell you, it was simply amazing. where I can share it with my wife and my son and so forth, and they all go, "Oh my God!"
Now, does Zach like wine as much as you and Raina do?
He's more of a beer drinker, actually, but he does like wine. Raina, and it's funny because 2 weeks ago we went down to the beer garden, and we're not going to have any time to talk about this show because it was just simply amazing. And I told you, next year, it's usually like this,
I've got it in my schedule. You told me to put it in my schedule.
I'm dragging you down there because there's some great restaurants, top restaurants. The Grand Hotel was represented there. Chef Amy DeBay is one of the top chefs in California. And last week we actually went to Del Mar Racetrack, and the good friends of ours kidnapped us to the Grand to have something light to eat before we got on the train to come back. Just an amazing restaurant there too, and the food was amazing. And they did beer pairing, and I was surprised Raina was even tasting the beer. But she, I'll give it a try. But she actually hates beer, but this isn't bad, So it's slowly graduating. She's starting to taste some things, She's always open to try something. Mm-hmm. But Zach's more of a beer guy than a wine guy. But he does like both. But he'll his first choice would be a beer than wine, where Raina and I are more on the wine side, but I like both. So
well, I got to tell you, at the Hotel Del, I was very disappointed. They do not have a good wine list. Matter of fact, I think the entire list probably has maybe 8 or 9 different wines on it. That's including reds, whites, and really off the floor. They had a Rombauer that you can buy in a liquor store for $35. They were charging $135 for that same Chardonnay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It was just they have a lousy wine list. And you'd think with a hotel of that stature and the meal, the meal wasn't cheap. It was $145 a head for the meal. And
they used to have a great wine list. I haven't been to the Hotel Del in 20 years probably, but 20 years ago, maybe even 25 years ago, they had, and it's funny because they do change their restaurants, and we went where this restaurant,
the Prince of Wales Grill, right?
Prince of Wales.
That was their gourmet restaurant. Nothing like it, and it's not there anymore, but man, it was phenomenal.
Yeah, and they had a wine list that was phenomenal as well. That's really disappointing to hear that they don't have, something like that. That statute of a hotel, you'd think they have an award-winning wine list down there.
Yeah, they don't have it. Hey, so listen, talking about wine, what's the wine for the week?
Well, there's one thing I want to mention since we're running out of time. I know, there are some white wine people out there for the holidays because you love one dearly. I know that.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's not the white wine I love. It's the lady that likes the white wine that I love.
I know. But for those white wine lovers, one thing I want to mention, because people were asking, and this is one thing I definitely wanted to get out, for turkey dinner, white wine goes great with turkey as well. I love an Alsatian. Let's go to France. Let's do an Alsatian Gewürztraminer. Turkey and stuff. Unbelievable. Go to Austria. A nice Gruner Veltliner from Kemptel region, of Austria. Amazing. But I know your wife loves Chardonnay. A Chardonnay goes very nice with turkey.
You know what, Marlene? I here at the house, she loves Farniente, and she loves a lot of the.
I know she loves the Poulet Montrachet.
Oh yeah, she loves those. So she's it's unfortunate that she has developed a champagne taste for wine.
Well, Bob, you're a lucky guy. You get to drink the whole bottle of red by yourself.
That's true. I get to drink at least 1 or 2 glasses of the white. So anyway, and listen, in a couple of weeks, you and your wife, my wife and I are going to enjoy a nice dinner together, right?
Yes, and I may have a little surprise for you. I can't say what it is, but I may have a little surprise for you. I'm working on it, so
okay.
I'll let you know within the next week or so before we go to have dinner on the 11th there.
All right, sounds good, and we're looking forward to spending the day with you guys, and you know what, make it a great week, and we'll talk to you next Monday, my friend.
Sounds good, buddy.
All right. You have a good one. The rest of you folks stick around because when we come back, we're going to be doing the birthdays for the day, the secret daily teaching for your life, the Harvard business tip of the day, and interesting but useless facts. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. Nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Leinberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the Street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 4:42 p.m. Pacific time. Hey, it's going down. It's 58 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. It's on its way down to 44 degrees. That's going to be chilly. And you know what? If you're listening to us on our globally syndicated network and you happen to be in Sydney, Australia, well, it's 72 degrees. It's mostly cloudy. And if you're in Auckland, New Zealand, it's 64 degrees. And a little overcast. But you know what? Right now, I want to talk to you about the Harvard business tip of the day. And the management tip today is use social media to learn more about your industry. You know, social media may seem to be an endless stream of selfies, political rants, and clickbait articles, but there's a lot that you can learn from it. In fact, you can use social media to build professional skills, knowledge, and relationships. Start by thinking about what you want to learn. If you're keen to know more about your industry, follow smart industry leaders on LinkedIn and Twitter to see what they're reading and talking about. You can find industry hashtags on Twitter to discover great new resources. If you know the specific subfield or topic that you want to learn about next, you can focus your reading in that specific area to develop expertise. Think about skill gaps, too. If you do a lot of presentations and are getting tired of those boring old Excel pie charts, start looking at infographics or Pinterest. to get inspiration for how you can do a better job of presenting data. You know what? There's a lot of opportunities out there. Just have to use your imagination. Well, it's time for the secret daily teaching for your life. This is all about a positive mental attitude. You've heard me talk about it all the time. You decide what's going to happen in your life. You decide it all. It's not subject to outside stuff. It's all about a positive mental attitude. You decide if you're going to be happy or sad, rich or poor, a success or a failure. You even decide how the people around you are going to respond. You do it every morning when you wake up. You look in the mirror and say, wow, I'm going to have a fantastic, productive, profitable day today. And I'm going to make it my goal to make everybody happy. Well, you know what? The secret for today is, with all that I've read and with all that I've experienced in my own life using the secret, the power of gratitude stands above everything else. If you only do one thing with the knowledge of the secret, use gratitude until it becomes your way of life. Yeah, gratitude. That's the way. Well, you know what today is? Sure you do. We all kind of know what today is. It's Monday and it's November the 28th. And what I forgot to say is Monday is the 28th, and it is somebody's birthday. You know what? And we've got some great ones for you today. So you know what? Let's get right to them. You know what? This fellow was born in 1757, died in 1827, considered a seminal figure in the history of both the poetry and visual arts of the Romantic Age. Happy birthday, William Blake. And, boy, here's a guy that's born in 1950, an actor, writer, and director, known for his performances in Glengarry Glen Ross, Apollo 13, Pollock, among many other things. You know, he's also on Westworld right now. You've probably seen him there. Happy birthday, Ed Harris. And then finally, here's a young gal that was born in 1967, passed away, unfortunately, in 2007, was a model and actress, remembered for her marriage to a billionaire, J. Howard Marshall, 63 years her senior. Happy birthday, Anna Nicole Smith. Yeah, haven't heard that word name in a long, long time. Well, you're wondering about what happened today in history? Well, hold on to your seats because I'm getting ready to tell you. On November the 28th, 1582, in Stratford-upon-Avon, William Shakespeare and Anne Hathaway pay a 40-pound bond for their marriage license. Yeah, can you imagine? 40-pound bond. Can you imagine that? Holy mackerel. When my wife and I got married, it was $2 for the license. That was a bargain. Well, I'll give you that. You know what? In the 1964 Mariner program, NASA launches the Mariner 4 probe toward Mars. And then finally, in 1975, As the World Turns and The Edge of Night, the final two American soap operas that had resisted going to pre-taped broadcasts, airs their last live episodes. Yeah, that was, boy, what an icon that was. Well, you know what? Our quote for today comes from Oscar Levant, and Oscar says, "What the world needs is more geniuses with humility. There are so few of us left." And that's probably a fact, right? Now, you know, it's time for me to talk to you about some interesting but useless facts. We've got some great ones for you today. Let's start with this one. Did you know that Martha's Vineyard once had its own dialect of sign language? One deaf person arrived in 1692, and after that, there was a relatively large genetically deaf population that had their own particular dialect of sign language. Now, from 1692 to 1910, nearly all hearing people on the island were bilingual in sign language and English. Now, that's kind of interesting. I didn't know that. Did you know that an eyelash lives about 5 months? That is, if you don't pluck them out, right? How about this? Did you know, here's one that's interesting. Joe DiMaggio had more home runs than strikeouts during his career. Yeah. Joltin' Joe DiMaggio. And you know what? A lion's roar can be heard from 5 miles away. Now that's something. I mean, think about it. That really is. How about this one? Did you know that it's illegal to mistreat rats in Denver? That's a thought I don't even want to have. Try this on for size. Danishes are called Vienna cakes in Denmark, And Spanish rice is unknown in Spain. That's interesting. How about this one? Did you know that the average lifespan of a Major League Baseball is 5 to 7 pitches? Wow. Tell that to little leaguers. How about this one? Did you know that there is more bacteria in your mouth than the human population of the United States and Canada combined? Thanks, Julie, for this and a couple more. Yeah, I should be thanking Marlene, actually. That's my wife. Did you know that ancient gladiators were mostly vegetarians? I guess they saw enough blood they didn't want to see any more, huh? Well, let me leave you with this one. George Washington's face was badly scarred from smallpox. Yeah, now that's one for you. Now listen, don't go away, because when we come back, we're going to do our tribute to the late, great Paul Harvey in the rest of the story. Today's story? The Almost Midshipman. Yeah, and I'm going to tell you all about that right after these brief messages. Do not go away.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful in visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39. A complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the Street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 4:53 p.m. Pacific time, currently 58 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. That's on its way down to 44 degrees. And if you're listening to us on our globally syndicated network and you're in Hong Kong, well, it's 68 degrees with some scattered clouds. And if you're in Lisbon, Portugal, you're lucky. It's God's country. It's 54 degrees and it's clear. But right now, it's time for our tribute to the late, great Paul Harvey in the rest of the story. Yes, sir. You know, we do this tribute every day to Paul Harvey. It's getting to be a very, very popular tribute. You know what? The American Broadcasting Company calls Paul Harvey the biggest voice in America. He's Paul Harvey, and each week millions of listeners and viewers and readers were awaiting his unraveling of the mysteries of events and the lives of people, past and present. Heard on over 1,400 radio stations, seen on 110 television stations, and read in over 300 newspapers. The rest of the story has for years been exploring the byways of history with revelations that are intriguing, amusing, and surprising. Well, in our tribute today, we're going to be doing the story, The Almost Midshipman. Well, here, let's get to it. You know what? Such is the romance of the sea. Its appeal specifically to the young, that small boys still dream of running off to join the Navy. And so did this one boy. His big brother had been a Navy man, had many exciting recollections of his service. Occasionally, brother's Navy comrades were dinner guests, and what stories they told. Reliving their adventures through countless all but sleepless nights, the small boy grew impatiently into his teens. Now, a suitable age to enlist in the armed forces, he discussed the matter with his big brother, received only encouragement. Perhaps with brother's help, the boy might enter officers' training, might go into the Navy as a midshipman aboard a real Navy vessel. It was a thrilling prospect. All that remained was to convince the boy's mother. The proposal was greeted with heavy sigh. Excuse me. Mother had bravely accepted all the challenges in her life, the loss of her husband only 5 years before, the difficulty of rearing more than a half dozen young ones all by herself. And here was yet another challenge, to give up the teenager that she still perceived as her baby. Mother, brave once more, gave her consent. The boy might enlist in the Navy if he wished. And he did. Surely this was the happiest time heretofore of a young fellow's life, a joyous drama full of glitter and grandeur and great expectations. So scene 2. The boy standing before his mother in a dashing midshipman's uniform, he is bidding her farewell. His belongings are already aboard the ship, and the vessel is ready to sail. Goodbye, he tells his mother. He will miss her. That's when it happened. In an unexpected and uncharacteristic outpouring of emotion, Mother began to sob. This woman, who had already endured so much heartache, now refused to endure any more. Her son must not board that ship. He must not go into the Navy. He must stay and be strong for the rest of his family, especially for her. Big brother was there trying to persuade Mother of the Navy's virtues. The teenager in the midshipman's uniform was silent for a long while. Then he spoke. He did not want a Navy career for himself, but not if it meant bearing the memory of his mother's grief. Much of it, as it disappointed him, he would return his uniform, would order his belongings ashore. Of all the young men who might have left home in search of adventure and did not, of this world's many almost midshipmen, the boy you have just met was just one more. Yet, how might any other decision on his behalf have affected the Revolutionary War? That is the rest of the story. We owe a mother's 11th hour anxiety for preventing one young man from ascending through the ranks of the British Navy. A boy of 15, handsomely clad, bags packed, and on board, prepared to embark on quite a different adventure than that for which you remember him. A boy of 15. His name? George Washington. And now you know the rest of the story.
That's our show for today. Beginning today, treat everyone you meet as if they were going to be dead by midnight. Extend them all the care, kindness, and understanding that you can muster. Your life will never be the same again. So many of our dreams at first seem impossible, then they seem improbable, and then when we summon the will, they soon become inevitable. You know, the real secret of happiness is to make others believe that they're the cause of it. Robert Cardoza Live is brought to you by blogtalkradio.com every Monday through Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Now, go out and make it a great day. Your host has been Robert Cardoza, the technical advisor, Matchstick Digital, and your executive producer, also Robert Cardoza.
You know, I've had a couple of weeks off, and I kind of forgot to tell you what's going to be on tomorrow's show. Yeah, this is Robert Cardoza again, and on my next show, Sean LaFave is going to be here. We're going to be talking about healthcare. I'm going to continue our tribute to the late, great Paul Harvey with the rest of the story, and I hope that you'll tell all your friends about our show here on the RLC Broadcasting Network. And don't forget to also tell them to get our app. It's absolutely free. Just go to their smartphone app store and search Robert Cardoza Live. It's there. It's absolutely free. Download it. Tell your friends about it. They'll be glad you did. You'll be glad you did. And I'll be glad you did too. We'll be talking to you tomorrow.